Hey, we back, folks. This is Telling It Like It Is News. August 23rd, 2011. Post-earthquake in Washington. Unreal. Right as everything's going down in Libya, here come an earthquake. Distraction, folks. Distraction, folks. I'm glad everybody's safe out there. Let's jump right into it. Tell me, with our onset of the 10-year anniversary of our Al-Qaeda attacking the United States, which has eviscerated all American freedoms as we knew them up to that point, we have the 10th anniversary coming up in roughly 2.5 weeks. And the first responders on that tragic day are not allowed to go to the ceremony. Bush is allowed to be there. Dictator-in-chief currently is allowed to be there. Oh, Mom, yes, I'm going to be there. But the first responders are not allowed to be there because the city announced earlier this week that due to security and space issues, there would be no room for the first responders. Instead, they'll be invited to a private ceremony on a different date. Retired NYPD officer Anthony Flamia, if I'm pronouncing that correct, forgive me if I'm not, told Fox News, "I'm absolutely disgusted." He said the exclusion was a, quote, a total disrespect to the responders. It's very easy for them to make, quote, the space for us. There's no space. They're the first responders. That right there in itself should just, I'm flabbergasted by that. I don't understand. So to the city of New York, you get a bam in your face. You get a, it's laughable. Just bam again. I cannot believe you folks. That is, I'm steaming out the side. Listen, just check me out. Check me out right here. And hopefully it'll do it. It's not even giving me the effect right now. But I am on fire about that. You know, here's a bigger flame for you. Just whoa, napalm in the brain, thinking that the first responders, the people who actually went in there and are suffering just poisoning of their lungs and their respiratory system, not allowed to go to the ceremony. But these clowns, Bush and Obama, are allowed to go up there, sit up there and parade and propagandize these people dying and all the folks that were killed during that event. Everybody should be mad about that, man. Everyone. We're going to move on, okay? Because I'll say something on here that's really dangerous. Next, okay? Now, granted, we're supposed to be, on the 9/11 tip, we're supposed to be scared of Al-Qaeda, right? We're supposed to be scared of Al-Qaeda. This article is back from March 30th of this year. Al-Qaeda may already be among Libya's rebels, okay? No caca, you know what I'm saying? This is just amazing, dude. I'm not even going to read this article, but I want to know what you guys think about ties to the Libyan rebels, quote, taking over Tripoli now. I don't believe that for a minute, man. Check out, I think it's 108 Norris. I'll put a link to his page in the description box, but he's got some real interesting some translations off of the actual broadcast in Libya, and it goes exactly contrary to what they're talking about in the States. Okay, moving on. LA Times. Libya, US, UN, EU may release frozen Libyan assets to new government. There's all these governments pumping money into forces that are rebels, dude. I don't get that, man. And saying that they're going to use it for humanitarian aid. Yeah, right. How many times we done seen humanitarian aid? What is it? It's a bomb, bro. Not to mention they talking about giving Obama another peace prize. This fool done nothing but do war, man, since he got in there and break people. Next, man. Reuters. Brazil says that they believe Libya will respect the contracts. Brazil and China have invested in oil over there, that sweet crude, in Libya with Muammar. And pretty much this is a guy, the foreign minister Antonio Petriota, said, because we have received information that contracts will be respected even if there is a change in government, he added, without specifying the source of information. An official at Libyan rebel oil firm AGOCO told Reuters a government led by the rebels could have some, quote, political issues with Russia, China, and Brazil over those countries' lack of support. So they pretty much, the rebels wanted everyone to support them in their cause, and I'm just not convinced, man. I don't know. I'd like some feedback on this one, because I don't know what to tell you, but I think it's fake. That's what I think. I think it's purely fake, and it's propaganda to make everybody out there, you know, be on the U.S. side and all that. I think it's fake, because that fool was doing just fine over there, and I haven't been able to find the proof, you know. And if somebody has the proof out there, I will be glad to hear it. But I haven't found the proof of Gaddafi killing all those people. I mean, it's a tribal society over there, but I know that them rebels have been killing a bunch of folks on top, and I don't think they're winning. That's just my own personal opinion, humbly. Okay, next, Libya. China pays price for lack of support to rebels. Chinese oil firms may pay a financial price for the lack of support for the NATO-assisted revolution in Libya, as representatives of the rebel National Transitional Council, also known as Al-Qaeda, state that there will be political, quote, political issues with continuing to honor pre-conflict contracts from countries that oppose the rebel campaign. You know what? That's gangsterism, dog. You ain't support us in our takeover, we're going to snuff y'all out. Salente says it best. We don't have a problem with Western countries like Italians, French, and UK companies, but we may have some political issues with Russia, China, and Brazil. And this is Abdeljalil Mayouf, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, information manager at Libyan rebel oil firm AGOCO, told Reuters yesterday. Okay, so I mean, it just keeps going. Here you go. China urges Libya to protect investments. They get about 3% of their oil. Libya supplied 3% of oil of China's imported crude last year, which is not a great deal, but it's some, and they have contracts. Also, China is one of the #1 investors in Africa, period, hands down. And the fact that Gaddafi was using that money and was wanting to organize what they call the United States of Africa, which is all the countries under one currency for themselves, to begin trade and raise the standard of living for all Africans, is the whole reason why America, the UK, Europe is over there, because they can't let that happen. Bottom line, unadulterated truth. Shove it down your throats if you don't like it. Next. On the China tip, man, back in 2007, and I didn't know this, okay? I was really ignorant to this fact here. And this article came from August 25th, you know, almost 4 years to the day, 2007, Washington. The selection of a Chinese sculptor to carve a 3-story monument of Martin Luther King Jr. on the National Mall is raising questions about what part of his legacy should be celebrated. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, the Chinese sculptor is bad, no. But, I mean, you can't find any African-American sculptors to actually pull this off. But not only are American flags made in China, so is the statue of Martin Luther King and Black America. What is wrong with y'all, man? Talking about some fantasy football and rap and all this kind of business, and the statue of Martin Luther King was made in China, dog. You might as well pick your carbon copy up at Walmart, folks. Go get it. It's at your store. Coming to you soon. Bunch of this type of stuff just, I mean, boils my blood. That article came out of Fox News. So let's skip ahead to recently. I don't know, like yesterday. The man finally wins. Martin Luther King Jr. memorialized in white. Unbelievable. Here's the skinny on this though. Okay, here's the skinny. The original sculpture, I believe, was out of stone. So here, oh irony, this week or oh irony, thy name this week is Martin Luther King Jr. National Memorial in Washington, D.C. today. The long-awaited MLK Memorial opened in the nation's capital. The $120 million project includes a 28-foot tall granite monument of the on the National Mall carved by Chinese sculptor Li Yixin. It is the first monument to a non-U.S. president on a national mall and the first dedicated to a black American, except, well, it is memorialized in white to fit in, we assume. In addition to the large sculpture, 14 of King's notable quotes are engraved on a 450-foot crescent-shaped wall. The original design for the memorial was the work of Roma Design Group, a San Francisco-based architectural firm, which based on a line from King's "I Have a Dream" speech, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope," created a design whose central component is a boulder sliced into 3 pieces, according to the route, which has written an extensive history of how the monument came into being. The 2 sides represent the proverbial mountain of despair, and the form of King emerges from a stone of hope that has moved ahead and apart from their pieces. All right, here's the kicker, okay? And I'm going to quote the 2008 article in Jet magazine right here in the article, all right? All right, actually, no, here's the kicker. The sculpture for the project was designed in 2006, and Lee's original version was rejected in 2008 by the 7-member all-white U.S. Commission of Fine Arts in favor of something that looked less confrontational. The dude, it's like this here. I actually have a picture of MLK with that because he was just disgusted. And he should be disgusted right now. The earthquake that happened today was probably Martin Luther King turning over in his grave, yo. That's probably what it was. Satire. The original concept showed an image of Dr. King that was asymmetrically composed, dynamic in stance, meditative in character, and modeled as if emerging from the stone of hope. The letter by the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts stated. But, behold underlying truth. The development as shown now features a stiffly frontal image, static in pose, confrontational in character, and appearing as if it had been affixed to the surface of the stone of hope. That tells you that tells you all, man. And I don't know why there's not any talk about this within Black America, but who knows. So last but not least, man, because this news right here is I'm starting to get super hot about this, man. By the way, thank you everybody wishing my mom happy birthday, man. I appreciate everybody like that. Okay, USA becomes food stamp nation, but is it sustainable? Hell no, it's not sustainable. They want to create dependency, so you're a bunch of slaves. Okay, you can read the article for yourself. It's simple and plain. This lady got Jenna Saucedo. I don't know if she's Puerto Rican, Mexican, or whatever the case may be, but she lives in Pico Rivera, California. So I'm going to lend it towards Mexican, okay? And I don't got nothing against Mexicans. I live in Arizona. I got some good Mexican homeboys, but, unbelievable. Her wages aren't enough to feed herself and her 12-year-old son. She earns $9.70 an hour and works 26 hours a week and lives at home with her mother, right? And apply for food stamps. I'm going to be straight up. We apply for food stamps up in this piece. Me being single income in the house. You know what I'm saying? They told me and she chef, hey, y'all make too much. And I'm like, unbelievable. And she been unemployed for 2 years. There's something, but she hasn't been unemployed. I don't think, I think it's just her calling right now to do the things that she's doing, in my humble opinion. And God bless her for that. Anyway, man, 46 million people, that's a conservative figure in the United States, are on food stamps. That's roughly 15% of the population. That's an increase of 74% since 2007. So in 4 years, the unemployment or food stamp claims have gone up 74%. At the same time, the cost doubled to reach $68 billion in 2010. Doubled. 3 years. More than a third of the amount of the U.S. government received in corporate income tax last year. We're broke, folks. And I don't know how else to tell it to you. Most people want to just, play it off. This is not fun. That's why I was hoping so bad that NFL didn't play, man. But besides that, I got to get out of here, man. This is already 15 minutes. Folks, pay attention, man. Do what you can to stock up on your stuff. Stay prepping, Afro Preppers. Thanks for all your support. Thanks to the She Chef for all her support in my life and to help you guys out with anything that we can. And thank you again for sending my mom today all the well wishes and the happy birthday. She appreciated that. She said that was really nice of everyone, and I appreciate it myself. So again, Afro Pepper, She Chef. Catch you on the flip side, baby.